I taught for about 6.5 years when I felt like I was needing a change. And so I said, well, maybe I want to be a principal. Let's try this thing out. When I signed up at Jackson State, took some courses, and I started shadowing principals. Didn't like it. I like good children and bad children. They only deal with the bad children. So it just wasn't the job for me. And so I had to go back to the drawing board. Well, while I'm at the drawing board, maybe 200-pound pole came dislodged from an awning at the school. Freak accident, and it hit one of my students in the head, giving him fractures through his skull. And I just went into, that's my son. I call my kids my sons and my daughters. And so I looked at it like he was my child. I went in, I didn't know anything about CPR. I didn't know anything about aligning or C-spine. I didn't know anything about that. I just went under him and cradled him and lifted him, held his spine in line as far as I was concerned. His level of consciousness was very low, but he started to come out of his convulsions. 911, I put him on the ambulance. I'm Mr. Clark. So while that's going on, I had 30 students that I told, get in line, get in line. And they were so used to me telling them what to do, they did it. They stood in line. I held him, got him on the ambulance, and then I took my kids to class and gave them the test. And I asked the principal, can I go check on my student? I didn't know about assessing neurological, I didn't know anything about that. I went into the ER room with the test that I gave my students, and he was one of my students. I gave him his math test on the gurney, and that was my way of, they say I'm Mr. Clark, I was so mean, but that was my way of assessing whether he still had brain function like he was supposed to, and he actually got a 95 on the test. And so I walked away feeling good, and I didn't drop a tear until after that. When I walked out the door, that was when I realized what had happened. So I said, I want to do something in this field, saving and touching lives, and that was it for me.